So I'm here with my parents today over on their farm, and I'm gonna ask my dad some questions about the trees, because he really is a tree expert. Like, he truly went to Ohio State for, what was it, horticulture? Yep, and he has all kinds of knowledge about, obviously, trees and plants. And so I'm gonna ask him some questions. So here we go. Dad, what all do we need to know about planting trees to make sure they survive?
Well, if you buy a tree, they're expensive. The older rule is don't put a $100 tree in a $5 hole.
Okay.
So adequate preparation. So you dig a hole twice the size of the ball of the tree.
Okay.
And you got to use 50% of the soil that you're taking out. You can put soil amendments in, you can put compost, horse manure, whatever, but you got to use at least 50% of the soil that came out of the hole. Blend that together, and generally around here, Ohio, Kentucky, you want to plant high. The ground has a lot of clay, it stays kind of soggy. So you want to plant your plant high, so always plant it a few inches higher than where it came out or where the soil level is. Yes?
We will, we're moving. He says go fast, Papa.
Water often, early, once you get it planted, to make sure the soil settles well. Replace any soil if it sinks down too much.
Okay.
And you can use a general purpose fertilizer when you first plant it. And that's about all.
Okay. Pretty simple. He really is the tree and planting expert. You can ask this guy any question about any type of tree. He can identify it by the bark, the leaves, all that jazz, and he literally can save any plant that's dying. It's incredible. Plus, he makes the most productive garden. So when I do some gardening videos here in the future, I'll ask him some questions about those, because I've never seen someone create a garden that actually produces as much produce as his and my mom's does. So you'll get some more information from him later. One other thing I forgot to add with my dad is that he also owned a tree nursery. For how many years did you own the tree nursery, Dad?
20.
For 20 years. So he really does know everything there is to know about trees. Really, do you know everything about pretty much every tree in the U.S.?
Oh gosh, no. Not
or
so
just
much,
local trees?
Nothing about tropical types of trees.
Gotcha. So anyway, you heard it from the tree expert himself. Okay, so you always say the best time of year to transplant a tree is in the fall, but you can move them in other times of the year?
You can transplant a tree anytime during the year. So,
okay.
If you want to try and transplant a tree while it's dormant, so
okay.
the leaves aren't out, the flowers, the buds haven't opened, you want to try and transplant a tree while it's dormant. Then if you don't get much soil or much roots with it, it still will probably survive. You can, fall's probably the easiest, best time, because the next season it goes through is winter, and the roots keep growing until the ground freezes. So it doesn't have to go through the stress of a summer season. So when you transplant a tree in the spring, next thing it does, it goes to a summer season, which is really stressful on the tree. So
okay.
they transplant better and have a better survival rate if you do it in the fall. You can move one during the summer also, but what you have to do is, as you dig the tree, you have to take all the leaves off of it. You just have to simply strip the leaves off of every branch so that there's no leaves left on the tree. Then you can dig it up, transplant it, replant it, get it watered well, and it'll sit for a few weeks dormant, and then it'll make new buds, it'll make new leaves, and then it'll come back. But if you leave the leaves on it when you transplant one during the summer, all the moisture goes out through the leaves, and so much stress on the tree that it'll die. It can't take up enough moisture to replace what it loses, and it'll die. So
interesting. The B&B versus pots when you're buying trees.
A bulb and burlap plant generally has a better root system because it's growing in the ground as opposed to trees that are grown in pots. So you pay a little more expensive price for trees that are bulb and burlapped, but they're a better quality tree, and they come with a lot more soil on the roots, better developed root system. So they transplant easier and grow a lot faster.
Okay.
So the ones in the pots can be root bound. They're usually growing in a soilless mix, so it dries out quickly, so the roots aren't spread as well. So a bulb and burlap tree is always generally better than a tree grown in a pot.
Okay, and those you can typically get from an actual tree nursery, not so much like Home Depot and Lowe's, but if you go to your local tree nursery, you support, or garden center, you support a local business, and then you get better quality products. Is that funny?
What'd you do to him? Oh, Mamaw's going to be pinching.
Oh, boy.
And I do need to clarify something about transplanting a tree during the summer. If you're planting a tree that's already been dug up out of the ground and has leaves on it, you're completely fine planting that.
Like one from the store.
Like one from the store, one that was dug in the spring and you're just now getting around to plant it. So, but if you have to dig up a tree during the summer because you're building a deck you're having problems with the septic tank, something requires you to have to move a tree during the summer. You can still get it dug up and you can still get it to survive. You just dig the tree, ball and burlap it, and strip all the leaves off of every branch. Don't leave a single leaf on the tree. That takes away the stress of all of the leaves losing the moisture, because when you dig a tree up, you cut away more than 50% of the root system. So if you leave all the leaves on, it's more demand than what the roots can supply.
Got it.
So strip the leaves off, the tree goes to sleep for a few weeks, and then it'll leaf back out, and it'll get about maybe 1/3 to 2/3 of the normal canopy of leaves. It'll be reduced quite a bit, but the tree will still survive.
Love it. Good job, Dad. Good job. The expert.
Say goodbye. Wave, Levi.
Levi, say bye.
Say bye.
Bye. He's comfy in the wheelbarrow. We're having a good old time. There's the beautiful pond over there. Today is an exciting day because we are starting landscaping. We are at a tree nursery right now and a garden center, and we bought a lot of trees. So we definitely have our work cut out for us over the next couple of days. Oh my, because we're going to be planting a bunch of trees. Here's some of the stuff that we got. I love this Alaskan tree right there. We did it. We just left. How many trees did we get?
1, 2, 3, 4, about 5. And then some shrubs.
We got so much stuff and we spent so much money. But our landscaping's gonna look really good. We made it home. Look at all these trees.
Look at all this work.
Look at all this work.
Money.
That poplar tree is big. Got a Christmas tree in there. We got this Alaskan tree. Oh, I love these little bush things. Globe bushes. They're pretty cute looking. We got all kinds of stuff. More trees over here. Yeehaw! Goodness gracious, James is way too fast. He already got the entire trailer unloaded with the tractor while I was feeding the boys. This is the first tree that we're going to plant. What kind of tree is that?
This is a Norway spruce.
Okay, Norway spruce. This one's done. Moving on. Now we're working in the backyard. We're gonna plant that giant tulip poplar. Making progress on the hole. This is the tulip poplar. This thing is pretty big. It's a sizable tree for sure. The hole is dug. It's a good size hole. All right, how are you gonna get the tree in there?
Back right.
Okay.
Okay. You want to do this or you want me to?
Oh, I can do it.
You lift up on it, but it'll come up in a hurry.
The tree's in and it looks great. Now we just got to put some water in there, some horse manure, and the dirt. Okay, tulip poplar trees planted and done. We're going to use this extra dirt as some fill dirt for some other landscaping projects. Good job, babe.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired just watching you. Next is this columnar blue spruce. I love blue spruce because of the color. It's got this really pretty blue to it. And we're planting it back here in the corner of the house. We wanted a tree to grow right there to kind of fill that void. So these columnar spruces, they only get up to 20 feet max. And they only get up to 12 foot wide at the base max. So that'll be the perfect size for this area. Babe, you're doing so good. I'm not having to do anything. It's nice. Now that the soil's nice and broke up, we'll pack it in around our tree. It's looking good. And that there that James just added is peat moss. It'll help the tree grow. Done. Moving on to the next tree. Just got this tree planted on the corner of the house. This is a weeping Alaskan cedar, and I really, really like it. It's a beautiful tree. So we got that planted in the corner of the house here. That's where that is. And now we're gonna plant a bush down by that yellow, what's that wire called?
Guide wire?
Guide wire that comes off that telephone pole. And then up there by the road is another yellow guide wire next to that telephone pole. We're gonna plant a big bush there too. Down here, burying the shrub. What's this shrub called? I forget. I don't know what it's called, but it blooms yellow and it gets really big. Isn't it? Looking good. I like the view of the house from this angle too.
Yeah, that bush is done.
Hi, Levi. Now we are back here behind the house next to the septic system, and we're planting some burning bushes here. So that's what we're digging up now. James got this shrub planted, another one of those yellow forsythia things, and it's out here from the house. Eli's over here with me, and we're going around watering all the shrubs that James planted. Go forward. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Now we're going to put manure on top of everything that we planted today. So when it rains, all the nutrients and the compost will go right into the soil. And this is some fertilizer we purchased for some of our trees to use here, babe. It's gonna go on all those wintergreen trees, like our little columnar spruce here. And then we'll put more compost on this one too. Down here by the retaining wall is where James planted my Japanese maple. It's this tree right here. I love these because they get those bright red leaves on them. And then up there's where that Alaskan tree is. It's gonna look nice. We're gonna turn this here into a flower bed. Gosh, it's such a beautiful day. We are out in the woods shed hunting, looking for some deer antlers. So far we haven't found any, but we're enjoying being out here. There's some deer poop. Elias.
Mom, I'm going at
Good.
Yes. I'm getting a lot of birds on me.
I bet you are.
And I'm being like a man.
You miss a lot of
Yeah, you are.
Anybody, you want to be like a man with me?
You are a man, Eli.
Dad, I'm being like a man. Dad, I'm being like a man.
What are you doing? Oh, that's okay. Yep, wash your hands. All right, come on. This way.
Feet up.
Good job, bud.
Oh, I think my feet is starting to sink.
Yep, be careful.
Ready? Go.
Oh,
Ugh.
oh boy.
Ah!
Muddy butt. You all right, Levi?